Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for the Soul, which is a 3-week morning series that we're going to be doing for another 2 weeks after today, Monday to Friday, at 10 a.m. every morning. And today I'm highly energized and extremely excited because the subject matter today is called The Beginning of the Ending of Depression. And this is a very important subject for a lot of people, and it's very close to my heart as I was seriously depressed for a number of years earlier in my life. And even in that depressed state, there were still guides and angels with me. When you awaken and you begin to feel and you begin to receive guidance, you start to realize you're never alone. And I guess that's the place where I'd like to start this, is that you are never, ever, ever alone. And there is ways to discover that reality as you go through life and experience things. And we're going to wait a couple minutes for others to come on. And I want to, again, say thank you so much for the incredible support that's come from the community. I'm just honored and touched and delighted. It gives me more excitement about being able to do more of this work, bring more of this information through from my divine team and the different angels and guides I work with, and also to assist others in connecting to their guides and angels, because they are here to help us. We are so attached to these physical bodies that we forget that there's these other realms of consciousness that aren't bound by our senses, and that's what we're here to discover and learn and expand and grow our consciousness through. Hello, Carrie. Good to see you. Hi, Kira. Yeah, the beginning of the ending of depression is today's subject. If you want to support my work, please, you can do that through the super chats, which is a little like a dollar sign to the left of the chat box that you can click on and offer a donation of any amount that you like to support this work. Also, you'll elevate your questions to the tops, because we're finding we get a lot of questions. Hi, everybody. Glad to see you coming on. You can also support my work through my Patreon account, which will be in the link under any of my videos on my YouTube channel, that you can click and offer your support through patrons. This is very exciting. The beginning of the ending of depression. When that information came flowing in, literally just a few minutes ago, this is what it would be: the beginning of the ending of depression. The big message that I get is that it's a really sensitive subject for people, and yet at the same time, the solutions are far more simple than what most people understand or recognize, once we begin to get an awareness that emotion is not who you are. Emotion is not who you are. Emotion is energy that you can shape and form with the way in which you give attention to certain elements of consciousness or thoughts. You can begin to reorganize emotional energy with your attention. And they always say that this is very important to understand, that where we give attention, our energy goes in that direction. Where attention goes, energy flows, and it's universal. If I put attention on my left hand, energy goes there to make it move. If I put attention on taking a drink of water, then the energy will have me pick up a jug of water and take a drink. I want to welcome everybody here as you keep coming on. Thank you so much for joining us today. The beginning of the ending of depression. And I got several beings coming in, and I'm just trying to tap into who they are, but I'm pouring some water for myself. It's really important, especially with this subject. Like I'm literally shaking today. The energy coming in is pretty intense with this subject, because there's a huge suicide rate on this physical dimension of I think it's about 750,000 people a year commit suicide globally successfully. They succeed in terminating the expression of their physical medium of expression. And okay, I'm feeling definitely Metatron's presence here, but I'm also feeling Buddha's presence here too. And I'm feeling Buddha's about understanding the purpose of the quiet mind and relieving depression. And Metatron, he's saying that it's really important to understand how you focus your energy in terms of your mind, using your mind to focus the intention of your energy. And we'll get into that. Let's look at this depression statistically. Remember, your body, it's really important they say this, your body is not who you are. It is an instrument, a vehicle through which you are expressing yourself. It is a vehicle through which you are expressing your consciousness. Remember, if you're not thinking or feeling, you're not going to be acting. Your body won't be doing anything, right? It requires a flow of energy through the body for actions to occur. Very important to understand this. And we're going to get into that some more too. But again, thank you so much for coming, everybody. I really, really appreciate it. So the beginning of the ending of depression. When I ask, okay, so you brought the subject of the beginning of the ending of depression forward. Why now and what for? And the response I get back from that is that depression is simply a misorganization of energy based on one's false beliefs acquired from the past, or actual experiences from the past that caused pain that one continues to relive in their mind and consider as a possibility for creating their future, therefore creating a sense of fatalistic energy that produces the belief that one will suffer in the future because they have suffered in the past. And they said, this is not true. It is not true that because you have suffered in the past, you will suffer in the future. You have the opportunity to alter and change matter in the form of your thoughts. You can alter your past in the present by releasing it. Quieting the mind. Buddha's saying, he's saying it's really important to understand the value in learning the art of quieting your mind. It can be very challenging if you do not understand the distinction between your awareness and your thoughts. If you're able to begin to make the distinction between your awareness and your thoughts, you can move towards a quiet mind simply by taking your attention repeatedly away from your thoughts. Simply doing this will begin to restore your awareness to the silent presence of your being. And from the perspective of the silence of your being and the awareness of that enables you to act and think independent of your past. Wow. I'm going to repeat that. I think that idea, what he's just said, like to be able to distinguish between your awareness and your thoughts, to then begin to make the distinction between, again, I'm paraphrasing what he says now, to distinguish them from the place of awareness in silence, that you are no longer caught or attached to your past anymore. And from the perspective of being in the present moment or being aware here and now, you get to generate or create expressions that are very different. Again, I'm paraphrasing what they say. I don't try to memorize what flows through. I just try to capture the essence of it. And there are simple ways. To quiet your mind, and I've mentioned them in past. And those of you that know me and watched my channel for a while have heard us talk about this, where we say, you can literally say to your mind, shh. And for those of you that have minds that are going really loud, and that can be overwhelming, or you got a mind that's replaying that old, oh, you lost your girlfriend, you lost the car, there's too many bills, and it overwhelms you and you start to feel depressed. Remember, the external conditions that are causing emotional states, you have control over those emotional states once you begin to distinguish between yourself as the awareness, yes, as you distinguish between yourself as the awareness and as yourself as the awareness of aware of the thoughts. You're not the thoughts, you are the thinker or the awareness. You are not the emotions, you are the awareness, aware of the feeling of emotion. And once you're able to begin that process of this feeling of depression, for me, I would always catch depression. There was a point in my life where I used to catch myself walking down the street with my head hanging down. I would be walking literally with my head hanging down. My depression affected my physiology that way. So when I began to become aware that my body was reflecting the emotion I was feeling, I realized I could begin to change my body, and I began to study body language. And then I would catch my body when it was in a depressed posture, and I would bring it up. And I literally worked for weeks and weeks at continually fighting the depression by watching what the body does. And as I continued to do this, the depression got weaker and weaker and weaker because I was no longer allowing it to be in my body anymore. Because when I was like that, I was allowing the depression to be in my body. Just as you can allow fear to be in your body, you can allow anger to be in your body. The minute you stop allowing that energy, and it can take some work, I know from personal experience, it can take a lot of work to train the emotion out of your body. Okay, I got. It's important. Buddha saying it's important also to understand that what you place in your body can alter and affect the state of the consciousness of your body. If you were to stab your body with an instrument, it would feel pain and react. Well, so too, it is important you understand the value of the things which you put in your body, that the things that you put in your body can also create conditions that you call emotion in the body. If you put something in the body that makes it sick, then it will react this way. You can put foods into your body that can make it depressed. You can put foods into your body that make it anxious. You can put foods into your body that make it unhappy. And very important to understand that you are responsible for what will go into your temple and what will come out from your temple. Thank you. Whew. Okay. We're going to start. I'm going to see who we all have here, because again, we just kind of flowed right into this. Wow. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Lysandra, Giovanna. Hi, Patricia, Lori, Rosen. Hi, Renati. Oh yeah, thank you so much for that $10 donation, Renati. That was so wonderful. Thank you. I understand totally. Thank you so kindly for that. Hi, Victorious. The beginning of the end of depression. Isn't that an amazing subject? Glad you made it here, Prem. Hi, Beta. Something I don't understand is we are souls having a human experience to learn, but does that mean we are here to always suffer and have painful experiences because we have to learn? Absolutely not, Beta. And that's a beautiful question to ask. It is an incredible question to ask. We did not come here to suffer deliberately. No one chose to come here to suffer. What we had when we came into this physical body, we came in as pure being. We did not need to judge or analyze. We were one with the one that is all that is. Yes. And in that state of being, we just allowed. It's a state of allowing. You are the divine when you first come into that body. You are the divine, non-judgmental, totally open and receptive to all that is, which is what the divine is. It says you can ask to love your neighbor and you'll love your neighbor. You can ask to have a fight. You'll have a fight. The divine does not distinguish between good and evil. But our environmental conditions, when we come into a physical body, this physical body has receptors called pain and pleasure receptors in the senses. You're feeling, you feel certain things that feel good and certain things that feel bad. And through the experience of our biology, we begin to run into things that we call, that make us feel good or make us feel bad. And as our awareness begins to collapse into the limitations of being this physical body, we become aware something feels good, something feels bad, something feels good, something feels better, something feels worse. This makes me sad, this makes me happy, this makes me angry. As we get to those sensations, we begin to collapse our undifferentiated awareness into this finite form called an individual, or the personality, which is the name given to your body. In that process, we can make mistakes and judgments that I am this pain, I am this anger, I am this sadness, I am this depression. We go through this process where we then begin to associate our once limitless self to these finite conceptions of experience through this one physical form. And hopefully in the process, we begin to awaken that maybe there's more to me than just this physical body, that maybe I'm the director of it. So we get conditioned by the environment to collapse our awareness into this finite state, and we disconnect consciously. You can never disconnect completely from infinite source. It's beating your heart right now. It's digesting your food. It's circulating your blood. We can never be disconnected from God, the creator, whatever you want to call that infinite energy potential. You can never be separate from it. It's in your heart, beating your heart right now. You're never going to be separate from it. So even when you leave the form, you'll still be connected. But while in form, it's always with you. As you begin to recognize that thoughts and emotions aren't who you are, that experiences of the body are actually effects of emotional conditions that have been put in the body. So you form a belief that life is this way or life is that way. Rich get richer, poor get poorer. This religion is bad and this religion is good. You formulate beliefs and ideas, and then you begin to generate behaviors that match the beliefs that you've acquired through the conditioning of your upbringings. And until you begin to question that, you're stuck with it. If you have the belief that the only way to cure disease is to cut a limb off, then you'll be, tending to cut limbs off because you believe that's the only way to cure disease. Yes. But being able to liberate yourself from suffering, which is the beginning of the ending of depression, because to me, depression is the ultimate form, one of the ultimate forms of suffering, and it's often unnecessary. Once you understand that emotion is just your energy in motion, and that when you're giving attention to your pain and your suffering, you're actually facilitating it growing in your body more. So you put attention on my pain, it's so terrible, what happened? You actually expand that energy. You don't want to expand that. Take your attention off the sadness. Take your attention off the sensation of suffering. And you'll begin to liberate yourself from it bit by bit by bit. Sometimes it can happen very quickly. So begin that process of releasing yourself from suffering. Practice meditating. Learn to quiet your, yes. Buddha is saying, understand the value of remembering that you are the consciousness that lives within the eternal, that you have endless potential and possibility, that you can release yourself from your depression, from your anger, from your pain, from your sadness. You have it in you to take your energy, your attention away from them. You may think of your awareness as the kiss of the divine, and whatever you kiss, you give life to. If you put your attention on suffering, you will grow that suffering. You will feed it with your energy. It is important to come back to that place of silence, of awareness, being able to decide from that perspective, I will give attention to this thought. I will not give attention to that thought. I will give attention to this emotion. I will not give attention to this emotion. He says the simple process, yes, he's saying the process becomes very simple when you begin to apply it. Or you can listen to other people's interpretations of how they would do it. But whatever you choose, if you are moving your awareness towards a perception that life is a beautiful and wondrous experience, and you generate the energy that supports that in the form of emotion, you'll begin to create that. But once you begin to draw your attention away from your suffering, you'll begin to have opportunities to see places where you will not suffer. What can I do to be happier? What can I do to be more filled with joy? What can I do to make my life more fulfilling? When you begin to feed that with your attention, then the events and circumstances that sustain and support that begin to emerge in your life. It is what you give attention to that is most important. And only you, in your physical mechanism, can choose what you give attention to. You may, if you so decide, to ask somebody else to help you or to assist you, and hopefully they will facilitate you in giving attention to those things in consciousness that will produce the conditions that will uplift, inspire, and liberate you from your past and return you to the Godhead of your present, which is here and now. Cool. Hi, Giovanna. Giovanna, I'm not sure why he's saying this. But all I'm getting, he's just giving me this. He's just showing clapping hands. Um, I'm getting from that. He says there's something that you need to celebrate more about in your life. There's something in your life that you're not celebrating enough about. There's something going on in your life that you need to celebrate. You need to get excited about it, because you're not. You're not being excited enough. He says you need to be more excited. Um, um, wow. Well, Adam, that's an interesting question. Adam's asking, can you please ask Archangel Mike Metatron on how long will it take for the changes to fully manifest within my auric field and for others to perceive me from the nature of extreme sexuality or sensuality? He's laughing at that question. He's saying, do you wish to be entrapped in matter, dear one? Do you wish to be seen as just a finite, conscious, physical form? You will have great limits in terms of what you will be able to create or experience in your life if you choose to just see yourself as a physical body. Much of the struggle and strife that you have endured up to this point in your life is because you have restricted your consciousness to the perception that you are merely a physical body. And you are significantly greater than that, as are all of you. You must not see yourself as just a physical form alone. You are much greater than that. When you truly access the quality of your being, who you truly are, the essence of love that is you, when you access this, then that which you wish others to perceive will be obvious, for they will feel the vibration of love from you. What you call the vibration of sensuality or sexuality will limit people from perceiving you as you are, and they will see you exclusively as a physical body, which will present many limitations in terms of what you can do or achieve or be in this physical dimension. You are not merely a physical body, dear one. He's also adding, wake up. Carrie, I have done your mediumship courses 101 and 102 and have been practicing. I've also been using a pendulum. Could you please ask for advice on how I'm doing? Um, hmm. I'm getting, okay, I don't know who this is, Carrie, but they're coming forward. I'm not sure there, but they're coming forward and they're saying it is important to understand how it is you would really like to feel, to conceive and give birth to an energy that would represent the way you would truly feel if you were already in possession and experiencing that which you wish. It is the feeling nature of your consciousness that gives form to the matter that you call your life. You are asking us to rate you in your progress. We would simply say to you, if you are feeling better each day in your life, then your progress is better each day in your life. If you are still going back and forth, then you are still moving towards that process of feeling better every day in your life. It is possible for any of you to feel better every day in every way. It is simply a skill you have to develop to nurture and cultivate that energy, that feeling energy that will become the manifestation of your actions and the manifestation of the conditions of your environment that those actions will bring forth into your life. Cool. Thank you. Great question. I keep doing all said to create new, but I feel little change. That's a great question. That's a brilliant question. And again, I'll speak from my personal experience. When I was under psychiatric care for a number of years, and so I totally understand depression and anxiety. That float between one state and the other. When you're stuck in that cycle of challenge, where you just feel like a ping pong ball going back and like you have absolutely no control. I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, right? It's not a fun place to be, but it's a great opportunity once you're aware that the depression and the anxiety are not who you are. Depression and anxiety. Depression is memory stored in the body that you remember from your past. Anxiety is a potential outcome in the future that's based on that depression. The things of the past might occur again, create anxiety. When you begin to realize that your memory is not who you are, what you remember about your life is not who you are. What you remember about your life is what's been experienced by this physical body. It does not define who you are. Who you are is what you learn to define. You must self-define. You can use your depression, you can use your anxiety as mechanisms, tools to begin to develop the you that truly is, to reawaken yourself to who you are. Start to become aware of your depression, which is what the first thing I did. I started to become aware when I was becoming depressed, when that emotion would start to come, and I began to change what my physiology had done. My guides and angels have showed me much quicker ways of doing that now. Just take your attention off it, they say. Just take your attention away from the depression. Don't feed it anymore. And then when you find yourself swinging to anxiety, take your attention off it. Bring yourself back into the present moment. This is the biggest thing the biggest thing since the wheel's been invented is learning to bring yourself back into the present moment and consider, how would I really like my life to be from the present? Because you cannot create a new life from your past. You can't. You'll never create a new life from what you remember. You'll never create a new life from what you fear. You can only create a new life in the present moment when you envision it, imagine it, feel it, and continue to do that. And every time you find yourself being drawn into depression, pull your attention away from it. Will it take effort? Yeah. Can it be really hard? Absolutely. Can it seem like almost impossible sometimes? Yes. Is it? No, nothing's impossible. It may be harder. There's a greater level of difficulty if you've been entrapped in depression for a longer period of time than other people, right? So you bear that in mind. If you've been living in depression for 20 or 30 years, it's going to take you a lot more effort to keep your attention coming away from your depression, because it's hardwired into your body. You literally got to retrain the body to be undepressed, and you got to then train your attention to not give attention to the depression, and then not give your attention to the thoughts that were depressing thoughts. Take your attention off. Don't go back in memory about, look at I remember what my dad did to me when I was 7 years old, and I remember at 22 years old this happened to me. I got kicked out of school or whatever. You just want to keep your attention off the past and bring yourself back into the present. And from that place, you can actually begin to create a life that will give your life meaning. And it will take some time. The time it takes will be wholly dependent on the effort you put into keeping your attention in the present moment. And it really does. And it can take some effort. It's like bad eating habits. And when we in our courses in class, when we ask people to stop drinking caffeine, stop eating processed foods, move away from meat, start eating more vibrant, live, living food, put more life in your body. And it's a real struggle for some people. I had a huge caffeine addiction years ago, and it's gone. And once that's gone, there's a whole new energy in my body when that's gone. So there's a range of different things that we don't have the time to cover all of it today. But this is all about the beginning of the ending of depression. And the beginning of the ending of depression is learning to be here and now in the present moment. Become aware of your thoughts. Choose your thoughts carefully. Take your attention off your suffering. Stop focusing on suffering. It's wasting your time and your precious, beautiful life. You have a beautiful life. Kate, I find it hard to keep on an even keel. The moon, my ruler, changes. It would be great if I could live in the right disciplined environment. Yes, Kate, there are places that, the Shaolin monks, meditation groups. There's all kinds of new light worker organizations popping up all around the world to give us the opportunity to be in an environment. But ultimately, the one environment that matters most is this one. What is your environment here? What thoughts do we allow? What thoughts do we dismiss? What things do we imagine? The real environment, the only environment you're going to find true peace in is within you. And that's something we have a responsibility to create. You're a creator being made in the image and likeness of an infinite potential consciousness that can create planets and stars and galaxies and universes and dimensions. We have that. And you are that. So you want to create that in here. You want to generate vibrations and sensations of love in your mind and in your body, and teach your mind and body what that's like. How would you feel walking around in a state of love right now? would you be walking? You wouldn't be walking around with your head hanging down or your face being sad if you're in a state of love. You'd be feeling pretty good. If you're feeling filled with joy, your body and your mind will think and do differently. And it's your responsibility, it's all of our responsibility to control this internal environment. And it can be hard when we've never been taught that we can actually do that. Or you've been raised in an environment where people don't know how to do that. And people are yelling and screaming, there's fighting, it's a dysfunctional environment. And it can be harder. If you've gone through a more difficult time, it can be harder learning to retrain this environment, right? And you don't just retrain it from inside, you also retrain it by what you eat, by what you drink, by how you sleep, how you exercise, you take care of your body. There's a range of things that you can do as an awareness to alter the way this system functions for you, right? And it's just an animal body that you're inhabiting. It lets you use it. It's got its own life. We all know that. We all know that the body has its own life. It's got instinctual nature, right? It likes pleasure. It wants to avoid pain, right? It's a very simple mechanism, but you have the authority to direct it and redirect it and not be subjective to its senses. Great question, Kate. Bradley's asking, do emotions exist outside of this physical experience or dimension? You would call it, yes, Metatron saying, you would not call it emotion as you understand it, emotion on another dimension. You would call it energy. And you could simply substitute the word emotion for the word energy, and you would have the same substance, but functioning very differently in this material world of matter versus the immaterial world, where there is a different state of being other than the one that you recognize of the realm that you're in right now. Good question. Thank you. Wow, Giovanna. Oh, love you guys too. Christine, smiley face like that. Well, if you want to open a menage, if you want to open yourself up psychically so you can actually see and hear and feel the angels, come take our courses. And then, there's lots of courses out there that do this. You can go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and check out our upcoming courses in September, and you can register for that. And it'll blow your mind because, like I said, your angels are with you right now. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why this is coming through, but there's these fairies that are near you. You got fairies near you, and I got this being named Babaji near you as well. That's near you. You need to just develop the awareness to perceive what it is they're transmitting all the time. That's it. I mean, think about this. This cell phone signal. I've got this cell phone, this device here, right? This device, if I call your number, I will get you on the other line. Even though I don't see you, I'll suddenly make a connection with you. And this is because this cell phone can access a frequency that's connected to your number. Well, so too does Babaji or Buddha or Jesus or Joan of Arc. Any beings from any point of time and space have a frequency that you can tune into. And in order to alter and change your frequency, you need to learn to alter and change your consciousness. You literally have to alter your perceptual awareness so that you can perceive the sound of the birds in the trees outside the room you're in right now, or that you can suddenly hear the creaking of the floors beside you, or that you can, feel the quality of the life emanating from the plant in the corner of the room. You learn to alter your sensorial apparatus. Only you can do this. The body can't do it itself. You have to train the body to do this. And there's many schools of discipline. Many of the martial arts classes, yoga, are different disciplines for you becoming the master of the temple instead of being subjected to it. So you can learn that. But yeah, you can come to our courses and classes in September. We'd love to see you there. Okay. Let's see. Move on to somebody new here. Thank you, Bazalal. I really appreciate that $5 donation. Thank you. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. It's just, you guys, your response has been unbelievable. The questions are great. And I hope to get through all of them. Bazalal is asking, my mother is very depressed. She is angry about the past, won't let go. Her diet is malnourished. Tried to help her. Good food, social interaction, and she seems to always find a way to not be involved. Be kind to yourself. Remember, every one of us came into an individual body to experience life individually. I'm getting, though, for some reason I got Master Jesus coming in to say to you, hold the vibration of love in your heart as deeply as you can allow it. And then let it fill your mother. Let the vibration of your love fill your mother's body. If there is a part of her that is willing to let it go, it is through that process that she will be able to do this, to give your love to her unconditionally without the expectation of her letting it go. Do not place the expectation on her having to let it go, but extend the fullness of your love to her, and her body shall receive that vibration. And if her awareness is awake enough, she will awaken. It is like a dinner bell or an alarm bell that you will ring. The vibration of love is a frequency that those who are needing it and seeking it will hear. And if she has ears, she will hear. But it is through the vibration of your love, communicating that energy into her, that she will begin to have the opportunity to truly hear that sound from within her own being, as if it were herself. Yeah, it's kind of like, we use this example a lot. It's kind of like you're in a restaurant with a friend, and you're talking, and suddenly you're hearing a song playing over the speaker in the restaurant background, and suddenly you find yourself your head kind of moving and you find yourself your head moving to this song, and you're suddenly like, wow, my head's moving to the song. I like that song. And you tell your friend, isn't that song a good song? And now you're both into this song. When you're putting out a vibration, whether it's love or anger, doesn't matter what vibration you're choosing to connect to in yourself and generate. When you do that, you put that out. When you direct that at somebody, it's a vibration like that music. And when you continue to direct it it begins to alter and change matter and time and space to alter into its likeness. Much the same way as this water, if I put the vibration of freezing towards it, turns the water to ice. The water doesn't have to do anything. Just like you didn't have to do anything sitting at that table with your friend in the restaurant. The music just suddenly had you doing it. So too will the vibration of love impact your mother in this way. Give her the grace and the love of your love, and let that be the process that you work with and watch. Just be love with her and give that energy to her and watch what happens. Two things will happen. She'll either come closer to you, or she'll want to get she'll want to avoid you. It depends on what she's willing to be connected to, because ultimately she must decide. We all must decide, will I choose love or will I choose fear? We all have to decide that. Thank you for that question, Bezlal. Let's see. Wow. That's wonderful, Terry. Thank you so much. Know thyself. And we are done. Wow, the time just goes by so fast. My mind goes, wow. Ladies, gentlemen, thank you so much for all your questions, your concerns. Again, if you've got any additional questions, please post them in the comment section after the video is loaded up on my YouTube channel, which will be in about an hour or so. How do we learn to forgive ourselves for past mistakes? I guess I got Master G, letting go of your past and being that in the present, which represents that one that does not make error, and you will be free. Thank you, Betsy. And thank you, everybody, for coming in today. Much appreciated. Much love. Bye for now.